Hello, everybody, and we are here with the amazing Stephen Briggs.
What's up? Hey.
Stephen Briggs is going to remind you to like
That's right.
and
You want to subscribe, give a little
bing.
comment, maybe comments.
Who is Stephen Briggs? Well, let me tell you, he has been on HBO, Netflix, True TV. He is an actor, comedian. I understand he does some photography work as well, and he does sketches. So if you put in his name, you're going to find some hilarity. But don't do that until after you've heard this particular talk, because we're going to get philosophical and funny at the same time. All right, Stephen, first things first. How would you describe a banana to someone who's never tasted one?
I would, okay, so if I was describing a banana to someone who has never tasted one, I would describe it as mush, mush that leaves an aftertaste in your mouth that you can't get out unless you have something like water to take it down. It'll stay there for a long time. If you eat banana with no water, you might as well just put like toothpaste in your mouth and keep it there.
What does it taste like?
It tastes bananas. I don't know what they taste like. They taste like divorce. That's a good thing.
Joyful?
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. It tastes like escapism.
Oh, okay. So you've had quite a few then.
Yes. I've had a couple bananas.
All right. So tell me, when did you have your first existential crisis as a child?
Oh man. First crisis as a child. I would say, one time I went to go ask out a girl, but I sneezed and then snot flew all over her. Yeah, that was bad.
Okay. And it was
Yeah,
a crisis because,
because it affected me for later on for asking people out and talking to women.
okay. So did that mean you were
I was like so
obsessively?
embarrassed and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. This is because I didn't expect that to happen. I just was really nervous and I think I just was congested probably too. And yeah. And then after that, I was like, well, I don't know what my body is not letting me just be a smooth, suave guy. I guess I will never be one. So I'm surprised I haven't sneezed on this right here, this camera right here, talking to you and just shoot over there and embarrass
So
myself.
do you think, did you then obsessively, like, sniff saline or something to compensate?
I
Or
just kept my distance. I was doing 6 feet before there was COVID.
well, the mask would have been apropos. That would have solved a
Yeah,
lot of problems.
that's true. That's true.
So when did you come out of that, or are you still in that world?
I'm still in that world.
Okay, fair
That's
enough.
why when that person that walked in behind me earlier, when you saw them, I wasn't facing them. I was facing this way and I talked to them with my head backwards. I pretty much look into a corner and talk to people like I'm a scary creature from a horror movie.
So when you do
Yeah, I'm just like
it,
looking at the wall talking to them and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
did you have any moments as a child that you remember where your idea of where adults were on a pedestal got completely knocked down? Like, say, a teacher who was really strict, and then you saw them outside of school and you thought, whoa, that's like a person. That's not someone that I revered in a certain way.
Mm, yeah, one time I saw my dad turn on the lights in the living room at nighttime, and my older brother had got a cardboard cutout of a singer down the street because the place was closing, and he put it in the living room. And my dad turned on the light and thought it was a man trying to rob him, and he started crying and threw his wallet on the floor.
No, is this real?
This is real, and the cardboard cutout was a prince, so it was even more embarrassing. It's like a 5 foot man, so it's like Like, who do you think was going to kill you? Danny DeVito? Who do you think this was? Like, Joe Pesci was coming from Goodfellas to get you?
And then how did he try to compensate that he did that?
He
Or
cried and he was really embarrassed, and then we started laughing, and then he got really mad. And he was like, ah, and then he started fighting the cardboard cutout, which was even more embarrassing. Because he got tired and he couldn't really defeat it. Like, he couldn't break the cardboard cutout. So I felt like the cardboard cutout won the fight.
and so as a result, how did you change your behavior? Did you suddenly realize adults weren't all that? They weren't fallible anymore?
We started singing this to my dad, and he got really mad. Like, what, instead of doves cry, we kept on saying this is what it sounds like when dads cry.
Oh, but
Yeah, and he didn't like that. He was like,
and did it change how you dealt with other adults as a result?
um, well, no, I don't know. I mean, I think every person is a different case, a different scenario because, like,
But
they
I'm
don't.
asking you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I see everyone as a different case. Like how I'll like interact with them, and so because like sometimes like I'll like meet an adult, but they don't really feel like an adult. Like so when we were younger, there's an adult that worked at one of the schools that we went to, but he was mentally challenged, and he would hang out with the kids, and we all saw him as like a kid, but he was a full grown adult, and he used to come over to the house. And I remember he wrestled my brother and he put him in a little chokehold and he whooped him in the front yard. It was funny. We're like, yeah. So he was cool though. He used to hang out with everybody and stuff like that. But he was a grown adult. So, but we saw him as a kid. He was like a kid to us. So, but that's technically an adult man. So that's what I mean by looking at it a different perspective. Because I don't think you can lump all adults into one thing because then what's the difference between like a homeless guy that you're walking by as a kid? You look at them as a different perspective, as you know what I mean?
And when did you have this point of view, though? Was there a pivotal moment that you had this point of view?
No, I think that's just like that all like blend like because you meet different kinds of adults, so it just happens instantaneously. Like when you meet those different kind of people, it's not like that's something that just like kind of like it's like a melting pot of times. I can't narrow it down to one time because it's just too many different times.
So you've always taken people with how they present themselves to you and you respond accordingly.
I guess accordingly is like in the perception of what you think or what someone else's think. So someone else might think I'm not going accordingly, but then I might think I'm going accordingly, or I might not think I'm going accordingly, and then someone else might think, yeah, you're going about this accordingly. So I mean, what's to say what's accordingly or not? I mean, I
Well,
don't believe I don't
accordingly,
believe I don't believe in certain things, but then certain other people believe in other things. So it's like, what's the justification on what's accordingly or not?
but accordingly to your inner self,
Well, here's like an example. Like let's say some people are like, yeah, you should give to the homeless guy on the corner, but then some people are like, no, they're going to use it for drugs and alcohol. Who's right?
Well, I think the only answer is what's right for you.
Yeah. Well, then I would say then, yeah, for me, I would think so accordingly.
Yeah. So you've always,
But then some people might be like, that's weird for you as a kid to be hanging out with adult people. Like, they might say that's strange and that's wrong. So
were you
yeah.
more so?
Yeah. But also I have an older brother who's like 20 years older than me. So
Oh, that's quite significant then.
yeah, so I used to hang out with him. So I didn't think like hanging out with like older people is weird at all.
Did you find it hard to connect to people your age because of that?
I don't know. I got sent to military school when I was younger for making counterfeit money. So
So you're an entrepreneur.
yeah, I tried to be, and
And how long did you last at military school?
I went the whole way. I finished it.
Wow. Wow. And we should say at this point, Stephen does perform for the troops every year.
Yeah.
Very
I love those shows. Those are the best shows.
And would you say that gave you a perspective of discipline?
Military school? Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. Yeah. Cause you got to wake up, you got to make the bed, you got to have the uniform correct. It was weird. We had this guy who used to cut hair over in the military, and I've never seen this, but they're like, it was like I'm not even sure exactly how they made this, but it was a buzzer, but with a vacuum attached to it. So you didn't have to pick up the hair. It would just suck the hair when he did it. But he also had cataracts, so he couldn't see. So he would just feel around and cut your hair like this, and then you'd have patches and stuff like that. But he'd been doing it forever, so they couldn't fire him. And it's like, who cares? We all have the same terrible haircut.
And this is why you have the hairstyle you do today?
No, I didn't have this hairstyle back then. No way.
No, you've chosen to have this hairstyle.
They'd be like, hey there, Backstreet Boy, go get your haircut.
What do you have a desire to leave for the rest of the planet after your body drops?
What do I want to leave for the rest of the planet? I don't care about what I mean, are you asking me what I hope they think of me?
No. Where you've been in the world, you came into the world, you gave to the world, and then the body drops. Yeah. What would you, or have you thought about wanting to leave an imprint on the consciousness to make it a better place?
I don't want kids. I don't want kids. So is that what you're asking me?
Nope.
No? Okay.
It doesn't have to be children.
Okay, you're you leave an imprint. I was like, no children, please. Please.
That's a literal response, which is fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is some people's MO, though. That's what they want.
A lot of people keep on trying to tell me to have kids. I'm like, it's why? No. I was like, everyone's doing it. There's got to be some people that aren't going to do it. Okay. Everybody wants to have the kids. How about I take one for the team and not have any kids? So yeah, no kids over here. But if you're asking me what do I want to leave as far as physical, some people build I built a well over here for people, and they have clean drinking water, that kind of thing.
Maybe.
I'm still trying to take care of myself. I'm a man child, so I gotta take care of myself before I can take care of anyone else.
What are some of your philanthropic activities?
Don't really have many.
Well, you do go and perform for the truth.
Yeah, but I'm pretty mundane. You know what I mean? This is I pretty much just like to sit around and think about how not to have kids.
Well, there's a very easy way to do that.
You would think, but I get phone calls every hour on the hour about when I'm going to give them grandbabies.
Well, you have a doggy.
Grandbabies. Yeah. They want.
Now, is it because of taking care of another human being, or is it because specifically your lineage? Would you want to adopt children?
I think they just want a new person to torture.
And you're not obviously coming up to snuff anymore. They're over torturing you.
I moved out, so they can't get me.
Now, what do you do to get centered and help your creative source? Is there a grounding practice that you like to do?
Well, I would say what I like to do, my morning routine is I wake up and I stretch my weary bones. I limber up.
Well, you're not that old.
Yeah, but how old do you think I am?
Okay, I think you're in your 30s.
Okay.
Is that all right?
48 years old.
You're 48?
Yes. I had to stretch these weary bones. I'm not 48. I'm kidding. But I do. I wake up and I stretch my weary bones. And then after I stretch my weary bones, I like to work on some breath work. You know what I mean? Just to because I feel like it's stretch the body, stretch the mind. So I'll do some breath work, and then from breath work, I'll do just some clearing of my head, a little visualization, and then a little frequency meditation. You know what I mean? A little bit of
Mm,
that, ended out on that, and then I go about my day. Then,
beautiful.
yeah. So,
Now, the frequency meditation, is that you listening to meditation at certain frequencies?
it's either that or just, like doing some ohms or whatever, some kind of like sound that will send a vibration through my body and kind of like, because I remember hearing this quote from Nikola Tesla that was like, if you want to discover the mysteries of the world, you should look for them in vibration, frequency, and energy.
Mhm.
And when I was thinking about that, I was like, all like an ohm or like something that resonates at a certain level. That's energy that it takes for you to do that, and that energy lets off a vibration, which lets off a frequency. So it's all three in one. Who knows if it really does anything, but might as well try it out.
Well, the ancient texts, if you go back to the Vedas, it all comes from sound,
Yes.
right? And sound is it's a vibration,
Yes.
right? And so we are all made up of molecules. We go down to the atoms, and it's
Mhm.
through vibration.
Absolutely.
So the mother, even though you're not having children, the sound of that child screaming specifically
Mhm.
will cut through in a way that other children do not, right? So there is a sound of vibration. And so being able to go in, whether we become still, right, or we are vibrating through sound or the sound baths, it is actually attuning us, right, to go inward.
Sound baths. Amazing. I love those. Yes. For some, it's like that feels like a massage for your brain, to me at least. When I hear like the crystal like bowls and stuff like that, they're
Mhm.
amazing. But yeah, so I try to like play with different frequencies and see what works best for my head. I don't know which one's the best one, but whatever. I
What do
guess
you
whatever
guys
feels.
think is the best one? Put it in the comments. Say which one Steven should do. He'll do some
Yes.
silly skits about it. What
Yes.
happens at 444 megahertz, right?
528. Yeah.
All right.
I've been messing with that
10808.
528 lately.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The creative visualization that you do. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it helps. I do it for different things, but I use it a lot. I have like a lot of like manic energy, I would say. So, and it's just like kind of not being able to like. Sometimes I can't control it. It's just all over the place, and I get like really super distracted, and I'm like all over the place. Or I'll do like this a lot with my hands, and people think I'm nervous, but it's just like I have energy that's like not I can't sometimes it's hard to direct, so I'll just kind of use that as like like I'll start it with like a gratitude,
Mhm.
just kind of like to remind myself like about the little things are still important. Sometimes sometimes you get carried away like with the big things, and it's like the little things are the most important.
Mhm.
So I try to just keep myself grounded with that, and also it keeps me from getting anxiety or anything like that. And then from there I'll like focus on something that I want to either get better at in my life, um and then I'll just kind of like put myself in that place and let myself sit in there so I can get more comfortable with that. Or if I have a problem, I'll try to fix it there. And then I use it as like almost like I used to wrestle in high school. So like you practice wrestling, but then you have the real wrestling match and you're ready for it because you've been practicing. So it's kind of almost like practicing for like when I get in those situations in the real world.
And when you do your comedy, not in a sketch but live in person, do
Yes.
you go through your sets physically, or do you visualize?
I don't visualize my sets because I do so many shows. It's so that's like I do like I'll perform like every night. So sometimes like multiple times a night. So I don't really use it for that, but I'll use it for other things that will affect how I feel or how I perform on stage,
Mm,
if that
mhm.
makes sense.
Yes, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So for moving forward, Do you tend to put out a plan or vision goal for each year?
Well, I don't go by this is the vision and that's it because I feel like things change. So you got to adapt. But I use it for like whatever I'm trying to, like, I'll have like a monthly thing. Like, okay, this month I'm working on this and this is how I'm trying to like get my brain to get ready for this. And usually, yeah, it's like a month. I'll work on one thing for a month. And then after that, like I'll move on to the next thing and I'll work on that for 1 month. So it's like 12 things a year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's not overwhelming at least. And also they're not like things that are unobtainable like in the year. You know what I mean? It'll be like most of the stuff I do is like working on myself, like, So it's not like necessarily it's something tangible. It's not like let me get, I don't know, whatever you want, like a Mercedes or like a Lamborghini. It's not that. It's mostly like things like make me feel more comfortable in certain situations or be like for a while I was like wanting to work more on like on stage, but not on jokes, but being more comfortable in silence. So
Mm.
I work on that, like being like okay with like silent energy and trying to get even laughs from silence, like using it as a weapon instead of like a crutch against me. So things like that. That's like a small idea that I'm telling you about, but like more stuff that's mentally like blockage and stuff like that can that can open up my brain and help me do more things and gather more things and have more trust and belief in myself than something that's like who cares about a car. I don't really care about like a car or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And then
So
each time you do 1 month, it then carries through the next month with what you've discovered, right?
yeah, like I'll use it like for like learning something too. If I want to learn something, I'll use it for like rapid like learning. Like if I'm like, okay, I'm trying to learn this, I'm working on this. Okay, well, then I'll use it like for that and it'll help me rapidly learn how to get better at something quicker too. So,
So there you have it. Working on the mind, meditation helps the brain. Steven's talked about how it helps him with his creativity. So if you're out there and you are an artist and you're finding some blocks, it's not about obsessing all the time on the material. Maybe the goals are working on the mind and your consciousness.
yeah, and also like I noticed too, it helps me from getting falling in any pits of like depression or anything. That's I think the most important. If there's anything like even if I wasn't using it for like gaining knowledge or something like that, like I think that's like that the bottom line is the most important. I think that it's used for because I notice if I don't go like meditating for a while or something like that, if I fall on my routine for a little bit, I'll get more irritated with stuff and I
Mm.
can slip into getting depressed or you know what I mean, like just feeling really like blah, I can't do this or unmotivated. But I know if I stick to that, then I can keep myself above the water, if that makes sense.
It does, makes perfect sense to me. So if you have questions about meditation, put comments in there. We'll get back to you. We're also going to give you in the description box the ebook, which is Vedic Meditation Stories. And if you have unlimited Kindle right now, you can get it for free, where you have stories of people who learned to meditate, who would normally not meditate, real stories and how their lives changed as a result of that. It's the only publication that is right now talking about Vedic meditation in that part, but real stories from individuals, because people who practice meditation will tell you how great it is till the cows come home, especially if they're teachers, but getting the truth and the actual stories are in their own words. There has not been any editing at all. So you can actually, when you talk about vibration, you can feel the individual from how they've written the words. You can feel a sense of who they are, and that will transcend the page of letters, and you'll get that vibration of the truth, like maybe you've got today from Stephen, of how meditation has changed him. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to do the second part, so stay with us for the second part. Bye.